Welcome, welcome. You with the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with a extra, extra. And we're gonna get into another pamphlet. You know what I mean? It's titled Quran, the Word of God, and it's from the same people that sent me the English version of the Quran, and as I showed you before, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you with the Nasty Pastor. I'm back with an extra. Please go to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. You see something over there you like, put a like on it. You see something over there worth sharing, put a share on it. And I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you have to say, so do what? Put a comment on it. Well, look, these pamphlets they are kind of short, you know what I mean? And I read them front and back. I really do. And I'm not going to do too much reading the top part anymore. Well, I am, because they're different. And I'm not going to waste no time. I'm going to get into this, so let's roll. The Quran is the holy book that Muslims recite and turn to for guidance in all aspects of their lives. Its verses have remained intact since their original revelation by God in the 7th century. This brochure explains the divine origin of the Quran by elaborating upon its preservation, authenticity, and miracles. It also discusses the Quranic message, which has universal appeal and is relevant for all times. Now, what I'm going to do, stop right there, and I just want to speak about something, Now, Islam has always prided themselves on the Quran not being rewritten. You see what I'm saying? Not being rewritten. They tell you the Holy Bible been rewritten by King James. You know what I mean? So, there's always been a rival between Islam and Christianity, Baptist, any religion that has anything to do with Jesus, there's always been some type of rivalry. So, Islam has always prided themselves on the fact that, that the Quran has never been rewritten. But when I sit back and I read this, basic introduction to this pamphlet, to this brochure, you know what I mean? Their original revelation by God in the 7th century. This brochure explains the divine origin of the Quran by elaborating upon its preservation, authenticity, and miracles. I just say this to you, you know what I mean? Do some studying. Because we're talking about the 7th century. See, we're talking before Christ. And from my understanding, you know what I mean, Islam was not here before Christ. You feel me? You get me? From my understanding, you know what I mean? And then again, I could be a little wrong, because you have Moors, you have Africans that went into the Middle East, and whether that culture came about into Africa because we was mingling with Jews, we was venturing out, we was what they call trackers, explorers, you know what I mean? And I just want to say this to you, that I haven't gotten to the Quran fully yet, but what I've seen so far, you know, you're talking about Abraham. You know what I mean? Abraham a Jew. So that lets me know right there, like I said, you know, Islam comes from out the Middle East. Its teachings may come from up under Africa, Kemet. You feel me? But Islam has its own branch. Islam has its own root, has its own branches that went out under the Islam tree, you know. And I just say this to you, you know whom you're praying to. You get me? Know how to pray to whom you're praying to, and sit back and wait on your blessings. You know, wait on them. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not going to tell you that Islam is the wrong culture to be in. What fit me, fit me. What fit you, fit you. But you please, you know, please, if you want to walk into the Islam religion, have some dignity, have some respect, at least know what you're talking about. You feel me? You know, because see, there's a lot, you know, and I'm going to reiterate this again. There's a lot of Muslims I've ran across that they tell you pork is bad. You feel me? But they sit there every day or every other day, sniff an egg of dope, sniff an egg of heroin, or put some cocaine into their system, or smoke a Newport. You get what I'm saying? You get me? You understand? Everything that pollutes the temple, they do. But you gonna tell me something about pork? If you're gonna tell me something about pork, at least speak to me about moderation. Then I'm gonna keep my ears open. And my rebuttal is gonna be, when are you gonna put your drug habits into moderation? You feel me? I say this to you, you know, I can respect you more if I don't know it. But if I know it, I can't respect you. And hiding it ain't it, because your dirt will surface. You feel what I'm saying? It will surface. Once again, I am the nasty pastor, and I was back with another extra. And look, go to my YouTube channel, Only Faith Ministries. Subscribe. Go to my YouTube channel, OFM Kemet Edition. Subscribe. All of them got extras over there. Look, I'm out, and I love you.